Well, having played a few hundred hours of the Arkham games, put it together, Arkham Knight about 300 hours, and then Arkham City a few hundred, 100 and something, Arkham Origins, and then Asylum is the one that I'm actually playing right now. I just don't even have a lot of time for video games these days, but I'm just chewing it little by little. They say, the way you're going to eat an elephant is one bite at a time, or whatever the heck it is that they say, right? And having played this game and enjoyed it, very well, I realized that this Arkham Knight game, the one that everybody is fawning over and was heavily criticized as launch, is one that is a culmination of a lot of years of work from Rocksteady. However, a game like, the Gotham Knights game is one where I strongly believe that a lot of players have not necessarily taken into account the context on how this game is, how it plays, and the environment within which it was made. So what I've decided to do is I wanted to do a show and tell type deal, and I've set up a playlist. When you go on the channel, you're going to see a playlist that's titled Gotham Knights Tactics, and I'm just doing gameplay on that particular playlist. That's all I'm going to be doing. You're going to see the playlist when you make your way to the Video Game Fight School channel. It will be like the second playlist that you see, because for some reason YouTube now gives everybody a mandatory bonus playlist. And this particular playlist is just going to be showing you gameplay videos. Here it is. Because I strongly believe a lot of the concerns that you hear about the combat, for the most part, and I'm not throwing any shade at anybody, is a lot of people that have not necessarily learned how to play the game the way it was intended to be played. And I have a lot more other videos that are actually coming when you actually consider, they're not yet released. If you notice, they don't have any name. This is just the name when I recorded and captured them. It's the Xbox version that I play on my PC, because you can play it anywhere. And I eventually, had to understand, like, okay, there might be something that's going on here. Because for the most part, I can understand players saying, we're not really fond of the visuals, we're not really fond of some things, but it's kind of weird to want to throw the baby out with the bathwater because some things are not appealing to you. Because in this world of hyper realistic games, I think a lot of people have taken that out on any other game that doesn't look like Spider-Man as not good. So there's already the camp of people who've dismissed the game because of the visuals. I can't help you with that. If the visuals are, not appealing to you, that's fine. But if you're a DC fan and you're like, you know what, as a DC fan, I've basically spent time listening to everybody else talk about this game. I haven't played it yet. Or you're a superhero games fan and you think to yourself, I haven't played this game, and you want to give the game a shot. Understand that the game is going to cost you in terms of time to understand and learn the systems, unlike the Arkham games, which you basically are, rewarded immediately you start playing the game. The Arkham games basically don't want you to do too much work. They want you to already be Batman at his peak in sense of fighting, in a sense of his gadgetry, and so on and so forth. Gotham Knights, being an RPG, has a learning curve with just the base combat with the timed attack system. And then you still have to go ahead and implement your RPG elements in order for you to be, in my opinion anyway, successful in combat, in order for you to be able to take on bad guys, in order for you to be able to at least, master the game in a way that you use all of the controls and you use all of the traversal methodologies that are available in the game, and understand enemy NPC differences. Enemy NPCs are very different in the way that they interact with every single character, because some Gotham Knights, some of the knights are slower than some others, and you'll feel the speed, you'll feel the, the way they can adapt with some of them and the way you can play. And I did all this gameplay stuff, and I still am doing it. I'm going to do, like, I don't know, I have hundreds of hours. I can go back and just actually cut footage from old gameplay, but I've been playing more recently. And I can actually do hundreds of these just to be able to showcase that a lot of the concerns that people have saying things like the combat is slow is just them not really knowing how to actually piece the combat together. Every single character has got, small subsets of things that can make the combat as fluid or as, clanky or junky as you play. So you have to actually understand that you're playing a fighting game, a brawler that's designed in a fighting game methodology, not just one that, is handed to you where, every of your mistakes, has like an 80 to 90% correction rate automatically. What I mean by that is, if you look at, say, the Arkham games, like here, if you, I'm looking at Arkham Knight here, right? And in this particular nightmare clip, I think I played the whole nightmare difficulty. I can't see. I'm just basically playing. You can't get that marker that says, hey, this is how you counter and all that stuff. It's just not given to you. But your mistakes are compensated in the Arkham games. And every little thing that you do is an animation press. That was a simple, look at this. That was a simple, I hit one button here, right? And I did two animations, one button, two animations. I did a block, a punch, and a kick to counter somebody, right? And so everything here just makes it feel like you're doing way more. And I can appreciate it. But at the end of the day, if we only have that combat system to show for all of the Batman games that we have, then we're in a generic cycle like the Spider-Man games are. We already have 4 Arkham games. Nothing is taken away from the free flow combat. But when I see a lot of people saying that, Gotham Knights, probably should have had the free flow combat, I laugh and say, guys, in the face of the free flow combat, this development team decided that their first game was not going to have that combat system. And many of you have to understand that combat system was also heavily used after it had shown up. Remember Mad Max? Remember Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War? Warner Brothers Studios were using that combat system extensively, including the 4 Arkham games that came out. So there are like 7 games that carry that system that if you really are hungry for it, you can pretty much go play them, if you get what I mean. But other games still continue to do things very, very differently at the end of the day. And so this is what I appreciate about it. So yes, there is a learning curve, and you can make the combat as smooth and you can make it as, janky as you want. Everything is manual controlled. In fact, some of them, what I've decided to do is actually use my, I show my controller, inputs, so that you can see for yourself, how much you have to control everything, movement, your camera. Nothing is going to be done for you. You're going to literally sit there and everything is going to be pretty much handed to you to deal with. And seeing a lot of, I would say more popular talking heads talk down on the game because of these challenges that the game puts in your hand, especially from a studio who already knows how to make, the combat, for them giving you something fresh and different has been really interesting, because it seems like a lot of these folk just want a game made in a way that they're already used to. They're stuck in their ways. It's weird that me, in my 30s, I'm more open-minded than a lot of the 20-something-year-olds in this regard. It's kind of strange. I would think that the younger, folk, especially the ones that are out here, talking about the game, and the game was basically marketed and directed to you, I would think that this, particular set of, gamers would be much more open-minded, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. But anyways, I wanted to go ahead and just talk about this because I think it's very critical. I think it's very important in our community as DC fans to look at stuff from that perspective. At the end of the day, Gotham Knights will be judged on its merits and its systems. And eventually, as people start to get used to the game, because I'm seeing a lot of people saying, I finally played the game and I do like it. I've been seeing that for a long time, actually. And as people continue to go ahead and start to explore the game and talk about the different mechanics and the different systems, you'll start to see that there's like a whole difference in approach as to how people see games like these. So let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching. Engage with the game. If you have opinions about the game and you haven't played the game, I can understand, but it really leaves us at a weird, place where you haven't really played the game. You haven't mastered the systems. You haven't taken your hands and put it in the dirt. So it's kind of weird whenever people say stuff like, oh, the combat is clunky and whatnot, but then I'm playing the combat and I'm like, well, you're using a knight that's probably not fast enough for you, or you're using a knight that's just not compatible for you. There are 4 of them. They play differently. And so learning how to understand and work and deal with them are the challenges that you face. And basically the game is trying to get you to, master your knight or master all 4 of them. I don't know anybody who's mastered all 4 of them, by the way. I mean, I've only mastered Robin. The rest are just very challenging for me. I play Batgirl, and even her mastery is also a whole different, it's a whole different beast in its sense. Nightwing I play a little bit of, and he's very good, very fun, very aerial, very dynamic. I saw people complain about him. I think it was Monty Xander that complained about him, saying, I can't believe I can't leap over enemy NPCs that are trying to shoot me with Nightwing. And I laughed, and I'm like, Monty, you don't even know how to play this game. He literally could not even deal with the Court of Owls using the mechanics in the game. It's just awkward, guys. So for your sake, I say, it will be best if you just basically take on the game yourself. I think the game is cheap right now. You can buy it for very little if you want. And that way you can kind of master the combat and then say, okay, these are the shortcomings and these are the strong points, rather than say some stuff that is just outrightly, on the ignorant side when it comes down to things. But I'll get out of your hair. Thanks so much for watching. Appreciate you guys so much. Peace out.